Hey everyone, it's Nyx, and welcome to the first official video on my channel. In this episode, we're going to be working with my older sister Rachel down in the basement on a secret project.
So what are you doing down here?
We, or most you, are going to be making a present for Mom!
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
So she had this idea of making a placemat and napkin set for our mom for her birthday?
Yeah.
Which is coming up soon. So, and it's this really pretty material. It's very fall and festive and autumny.
I found it at Joann's, and since a lot of our placemats and napkins are starting to get a little old, I thought this would be a good birthday present. Now, I've got until November to do it, but I'm going to show you how I'm doing it now, since I'm assuming that's what Nyx wanted when she brought this camera down here.
Yes.
Anyway, so to make the placemat, easiest thing to do is find, you're going to want two fabrics, at least that's what I have. I have that fall fabric, and then I've got this really nice bright orange that complements the colors of one of the leaves in here.
It kind of looks like wood. It's got like a woody pattern on it.
So I cut out 12 squares, 6 of each, and the first thing you're going to want to do is lay them right sides together. So you get the most colorful side, squash them together, and you're going to pin around the edge.
Yeah, she'll be doing that. It'll be very entertaining. What's next?
Well, I have to finish pinning it.
Fudge. So, we'll cut to that. Editing magic! Woo!
You are bizarre.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Not a bobby pin, bobbin. I'm going to send you to go get it since you're in my basement.
This is the lovely stash. It is filled with a lot of stuff.
There's a reason I call it the stash.
Yeah, so she said to the right.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yay! Grab the right one! This is...
Oh, and this is Bobo. This is my puppy. He has no idea what's going on right now.
He rarely has any.
But he has to move because he's in the way. I was sitting there. Scoochy scooch.
Or I can just, you know, sit off to the side and let my dog have the spot.
You're a lot more generous than I am.
Yeah. She made that.
Yes, I did, because I lost my other one. Anyway, yes, this is the bobbin. This little thing here, it goes in the bottom of the sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this weird little triangle straight stitch. If you look at it, I'm going to use number 6. And what that's going to do is it's going to zigzag the edges so they don't unravel and sew it together at the same time. I like starting near a corner, not on a corner, just near a corner, because that way I can finish it with the corner.
And go back to make sure it's locked.
Yep, basically.
And onward! Poof, we're back!
The next step is to basically trim off a lot of this excess around, especially on the corners. You don't want to do too close, but this will make it lie a little bit flatter when you sew the outside.
Back!
There we go.
Hi.
Alright, and then obviously you left, hopefully there was a little space left. There it is. And then you just turn it right side out. May have made the space a little too small. Alright, there we go.
Yay! Magic!
Alright, spread it out. And then you have to pick one of these nicer stitches, probably one of the quilter stitches to use to go around to top stitch it down so it lays flat.
Decision has been made.
Alright, so now that I've got all the edges pinned down so they're nice and flat, I'm going to take it back through my sewing machine and add a fancier top stitch. Alright, so I'm going to do it right on the edge like that. Lock it in place. Alright, so we got a little bit of an overlap, but I think that'll be okay. You actually have a couple of different options with what you can do with the top stitching. If you don't have any of these fancy stitches, you can just do a nice straight stitch, which will look just fine, or you could just iron it down. I would have ironed this between turning it right side out and stitching the top stitching, but I'd already done it after I cut it out, and I think it actually is laying flat, so I didn't worry about it too much.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, there you go. Once you trim off your excess, you have a very nice placemat.
Double-sided placemat.
Double-sided placemat, so you can use this side or this side.
So,
Alright, so next bit was the napkin. I went ahead and cut those out too. And I started pinning this one a while back. So pinning it here is kind of the same. You just roll it over and pin it down. As exciting as ever. Shorter pin here, because we are about ready to do the corner. Now the corners can be a little trickier. What I like to do is I like to fold a little triangle, because when you fold it over, that way you don't have any of the ragged edges showing up. And then roll it as flat as you can. You might cover your pin a little bit. I am. But if you do it like this, you're going to have a really nice crisp corner with no stray threads. Alright, so I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm just going to use our fancier stitch to hold this down, I think. Because I know I'm doing this because I know my machine pretty well, and I know it will hold it down because the stitch is wide enough to do that. That didn't thread. If you don't know your machine very well, I would suggest zigzagging it and then straight stitching it down instead of doing a fancier stitch. That way you will know for sure. If you're a beginner, I would suggest doing that. Just because that way you know for sure it's not going to unravel on you with use.
she has pins in her mouth. That's dangerous.
I love how that's what you're worried about. I have pins in my mouth.
That's dangerous.
Yes, I have stabbed myself in the mouth and the tongue and gums before. But if you're doing it gently, it doesn't hurt that much. And honestly, for corners and things, it's usually a lot easier to get it to your mouth than it is the pincushion. Which is probably just the way I do it, but, you know, that's just kind of what happens. So there we go. We've got a nice napkin. I'll show you the right side. Nice napkin and a placemat. So if you have any questions about how to make this, or you want your own version of the pattern, send a comment, or say something in the comments, I guess.
Like and subscribe.
Sure.
Yay.